Zack with FasTrax here to show off an upcoming POS future that makes a lot of sense: penny rounding. So as you may or may not be aware, the Federal Reserve has stopped penny production earlier than anticipated. Instead of producing them until early 2026, the final batch of pennies was minted sometime during the summer of 2025. For retailers, this has caused a bit of a nuisance, as a lot of banks aren't able to get pennies and have halted or limited orders. So this results in the inability to provide exact change to cash-paying customers. So the knee-jerk reaction to this is simply rounding the sale to the nearest nickel, either up or down. And the law of averages tells us it'll probably equal out. The customer's charged a few cents more, that customer's charged a few cents less, no harm, no foul, right? Well, that's exactly what we thought, till we dug a little deeper and found that there's actually a few legal obstacles in the way. First, under federal law, SNAP or EBT customers must be charged the same price as all other shoppers. So that means if you round down the price for cash customers, you must round it down for them too. Next, there are 10 states as well as some local municipalities that have laws that would prohibit the practice of rounding cash transactions up to the nearest nickel. These laws aim to prevent cash discrimination, which would occur if cash-paying customers were charged more than those using credit cards or other payment methods. There's also some laws in states that would prohibit rounding cash sales down, as they restrict stores from charging customers for paying credit cards more than customers that would pay cash. They would consider that surcharging. So in response to this, federal legislation known as the Common Sense Act has been introduced. So its aim is to create a national standard allowing businesses to round transactions to the nearest nickel, which would preempt the state and local laws that currently prohibit this practice. That being said, government isn't exactly known for moving quickly, and you have a business to run. So what do? It's where I think we can help. We've added the ability to incorporate penny rounding in several ways. It gives you the flexibility to do what makes the most sense for your business. With our solution, you'll create 2 new departments to hold these penny rounding sales, one for rounding up and the other for rounding down. These departments should be non-taxable and flagged as not added to sales. So you'll choose whether to always round up, always round down, or use midpoint rounding. You'll also choose to enable penny rounding on all transactions or just cash transactions. So how we've laid out our solution is that you aren't discounting the price of any single product. You're selling an additional item, especially if you're always rounding up, which is what we recommend. And the best part of it is that you can give the customers back that penny via loyalty points. Since the rounding is a sale to a specific department, you can configure a loyalty campaign against that department, rewarding the customer X points whenever they purchase from that department, meaning they aren't being charged more, they're simply purchasing loyalty points. So what if the customer doesn't have a loyalty account? Well, for those instances, we would recommend that you have a policy in place that the rounding sale is a donation to a local charity, and you'll follow through with that donation by using our department sales report to determine how much was donated when you stroke that check. So how does it function? Well, let's assume you configured the POS to always round up for cash transactions. The cashier would add items to the sale as normal, and when the sale is subtotaled, one of 2 things will happen. If you've enabled the setting to prompt the cashier about rounding, a message will appear asking the cashier if they want the system to round the sale or not. If the setting is disabled, you would want to drop the new penny rounding button on the subtotal screen, and the cashier would simply press it and it would perform the rounding. So let's say the total sale amount was $14.27, and since we chose to always round up, it would automatically add an open department sale for 3 cents to the transaction, making the new total $14.30. And if we're using the loyalty incentive, that customer would earn 3 cents worth of points on this sale. So that about wraps things up this time, and I would urge you that until the Federal Common Sense Act is enacted, you should review your state and local requirements. And whatever solution you decide on should be clearly communicated to staff and customers. As always, as much as I'd like to be sometimes, I am not a lawyer, and what we're discussing here should not be considered legal advice about how you should operate your business. So thanks for spending a few minutes with me, and hopefully what we've discussed makes sense and won't leave you shortchanged. Until next time, take care.